Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to our Friday, June the 14th show. And what a wonderful weekend it is. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week, and you're going to start this weekend off good. I am, and I will tell you about that later. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Some of our most iconic male figures of all time, from George Michael to Luther Vandross to Boy George to Sylvester and to the artist formerly known as Prince, all wore makeup. And if you wondered why, it was simply because they all wanted to. What's wrong with that? Masculinity was important in ancient Egyptian culture, and makeup played a role in that. As early as 4000 BC, men used black pigment to create elaborate cat eye designs. A few millennia later, kohl eyeliner, green malachite eyeshadow, and lip and cheek stains made from red ochre were also popular. Men are also embracing color, ignited by a post-pandemic of creativity. Primarily driven by Gen Z, makeup is used as a form of creative expression and fluid self-identity as traditional gender norms are broken down even further. Tonight, with our special guest, Ricardo Ron, skincare and makeup content creator, we are talking about men, makeup, and masculinity. So come on in here, you guys. We're about to have a conversation, okay? And we want to make sure that we hear from you. Again, welcome to our show. And I said it was June, and so much is happening in June. First of all, it is Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen. It is gay pride. I mean, pride everywhere. And it's so beautiful to see pride being celebrated. I don't know what about it is this year, but it is bigger and bolder and better. And it is just wonderful to see. It's also African American Music Appreciation Month. That's the month of June. And Juneteenth is also next Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to first give a shout out to Kentucky, because thanks to their governor, Kentucky is celebrating their first Juneteenth federal holiday. How about that? And also on Sunday, it is Father's Day. So a special salute to all the fathers out there, doing your thing. I think a lot of fathers get a bad rap, but for those of you who know what you're doing, keep doing it. And we salute you here. He said, he said, he said. And the biggest thing that's happening this month, this is our birthday show. No, I said our. It is my birthday show, ladies and gentlemen. My birthday is on Sunday, on Father's Day, and I'm telling you, I am so blessed to take another circle around the sun, ladies and gentlemen. This is I never thought that 65, when I got here, I would be feeling and just doing all the things that I'm doing right now. So I am blessed, and I'm glad that you all are here for my birthday show. Well, I want to get my guys in here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you all are ready, let's get on with the chat.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss, for bringing it to the show. How you guys doing tonight? Well, no one has the rights to that song because it was.
We are floating off of your birthday energy. That's what we're doing.
I have the energy. Hello, Rose. Hello, Charles Reese. Can I do this? Can y'all see this right there behind me? Right there. See those flowers?
The flowers we can see.
Gorgeous,
those flowers came from my neighbor Rose.
Oh,
and Rose, thank you so much for I thought it was Amazon. I was like, what the hell is coming up?
Oh,
And
that's so sweet of you, Rose.
and the guy was just smiling when he saw. I mean, the flowers were so pretty that the guy who delivered the flowers, he was just smiling. So thank you, Rose. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being
Now,
here
Rose,
tonight.
did you remember to put on the card from you, Vash, and Bobby? Did you remember
Yes, yes.
that? Remember
It's okay if you didn't, because he'll know now.
that? Good job, Rose.
We're Venmoing you the money, we promise.
Exactly.
Hey, Sharon. Welcome to the show. So what is going on, guys? Like I said, it's just so much going on in the month of June. You have to be excited.
It's a lot going on, and it's got a lot going on. And as you mentioned, one of them, it obviously is Pride Month, and I really got to have a very, very, very special treat this week. Thanks to a very good friend, Ernest, if you're out there, and Alex, I want to say thank you to both of you. I got invited this week to a very special Pride celebration hosted by none other than our Vice President, Kamala Harris, at her home. So here I am earlier this week with Vice President Kamala Harris. It was an extraordinary reception, as I said, at the Vice Presidential residence here in Washington, D.C. And it featured a variety of people. There were lots of folks there. There is Nymphia Wind, who is this season's winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, was there. I'm sure you guys recognize this person. Here I am with Billy Porter, who was very gracious and nice, and he actually entertained while he did a number while he was there as well. So it just was an unbelievable pinch me moment, celebrating and hearing from the Vice President about Pride and the Biden administration supporting the LGBTQ plus community.
Nice. This is
Real
the second
cool.
year you've been.
Real cool.
It's the second time I've been. Yeah.
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 That's right. You did go last year.
Did you take anything? Okay, well, you ain't got to tell me. You can just show me later after the show.
How you doing, Beth? Welcome to the show.
You were green with envy, Bosh.
And Blue, obviously, you came on a little late because we did give kudos to Juneteenth.
We did.
We did. So that means in your spare time, look at the what do you call it? The YouTube.
The YouTube recording.
It's YouTube recording. You make sure you do that because we said it.
Now,
so, Rose did say that she was remiss in putting our names on the card, Bobby, but she'll do better.
Thank you, Rose. We appreciate you. We really
Rose,
do.
I'm doing it again.
I was like, don't listen to them. I know who those flowers came from. Well, in addition to that wonderful experience at the Vice President's home, the other thing that I really wanted us to talk about for just a quick second is the recent Oklahoma Supreme Court ruling, which I found both kind of heartbreaking and insulting. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's the Oklahoma Supreme Court ruling that dismisses the lawsuit considering reparations for the survivors of the Tulsa massacre. And for those who aren't familiar with the massacre, it happened in 1921, and it's one of the worst single acts of violence against Black people in the United States of America. The destruction of Tulsa by a white mob of the once thriving Black district known as Greenwood in 1921. The white mob, including some people hastily deputized by authorities, looted and burned the district, which was referred to by many as Black Wall Street. And so there were 3 survivors, all over 100 years old. Unfortunately, one of them has passed away. So in this picture, there are 2. The survivors were, and I want to get their names, Lacey Benfield Randall, Viola Fletcher. These are the 2 women that you see there, and Hughes Van Ellis, who died last year at the age of 102. So the original suit was filed in 2020, and they had appealed seeking reparations. And over 300 Black people perished during that massacre. And I think one of the things, and I have my notes here, the thing that was most disturbing and insulting to me in this most recent ruling was the statement that we further hold that the plaintiff's allegations do not sufficiently support a claim for unjust enrichment. Arguably one of the most single devastating acts against African Americans, where people were burned, killed, bombed, and any survivors were told, if you ever speak of this, we will find you and we will hurt you. And the Supreme Court in Oklahoma considers it unjust. I wanted it unjust and insufficient support of a claim for unjust enrichment.
That's so sad. Before we went live, our producer was saying that Miss Fletcher
Yes.
was also interviewed by the National Black Press, so they got a chance to talk to her. This is like that's really sad. I know the story, but the story behind how the people of Tulsa, the African Americans of Tulsa,
Yes.
how they lived before they went in and burned them down. That everyone should read about that. And I think Blue put in a link or something here that he said it's the story. So I'm assuming it's the story pertaining to this. And so, but read up on that, everyone.
It's extraordinary history. Yeah. It was a completely autonomous, thriving, and successful Black community. And basically, it was destroyed out of hate and envy that these people were thriving in the way that they did. Literally decimated. Awful. Justice denied.
Awful. Wow. Well, this is America.
Amen.
Yeah.
And this is being Black in America.
Wow. Well, moving on to a different Supreme Court. So last year, ProPublica, which is a publication, brought to our attention that Justice Clarence Thomas had not reported many of the gifts that he had received, especially those from his billionaire friend Harlan Crow. Well, there have been updates to this investigation. According to the judicial reform group Fix the Court, Thomas accepted more than $2.4 million in gifts between 2004 and 2023. This is nearly 10 times the value of all the gifts received by all other justices during that same period. There were another 101 likely gifts that they found, value at another 1.8 million, bringing Thomas's total to nearly 4.2 million over the last 2 decades. Now, in contrast, Justice Samuel Alito accepted 16 gifts worth a combined $170,000. The late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who served on the court for more than 34 years, received 73 gifts until she retired in early 2006. Now, she ranked second behind Justice Thomas in total number of gifts, but the combined value of her gifts were less than $36,000. So even if we adjust for inflation, she is still way behind Thomas's total.
Thank you for adjusting.
Right? I mean, because, let's try to compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
So, we're going to continue to keep you guys updated as we follow the ethical or unethical activities of the Supreme Court. Wow. But what do you guys think of this? I saw a graph. There was Justice Thomas's totals and then everyone else's. It was so incredibly egregious how much more he's been receiving.
What does Blue say? If we take the House impeachment charges, charges will fall. Well, what do I think about it? He's a crook. He's never, nothing that he does is above board. Nothing. But yet, this person is sitting in a black robe making decisions about our lives that will impact us for the rest of our lives. Some of the decisions he's made has impacted some of you all your lives. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's just unfortunate that, again, this is America.
Yeah. And he's leading the charge to overturn precedent. It happened with Roe v. Wade, and they're going to be coming after marriage equality soon.
Absolutely.
Bobby, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just going to say, Anita Thomas tried to tell us.
She did.
You mean
Anita Hill?
I mean Anita Hill. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Not Anita. Anita Hill tried to tell us.
She did. Lots of women try to warn us about these judges as they get, confirmed.
Yeah.
I can't even. And when if they get him, please get Jenny also too.
That one.
That one. But it's just such a corrupt situation, and to even report on it, it's just really sad. And I wonder what other countries are saying when they look at us. Like,
Oh, I think we know what they're saying because we have this incredible capacity of traveling the world and telling people how to act and what they should do and how to run their countries and all that. Like we've always been very good about that. And I mean, even if you think about the change of power after having, Mr. Obama as the president, and then we went to someone else, the world was like, wait, you went from this and that's who you've chosen.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and BRICS, I'm not sure if you guys have been following the news over the last 3 days, but Saudi Arabia has taken oil off of the dollar standard, and BRICS has gotten another 52 countries to join them.
Oh, wow.
And they are positioning themselves to be the anti-UN G7, G20 coalition and are looking to be the new force governing, what happens on the planet. And all of that is connected to how our courts are running, how our presidencies are running, all of that. They're seeing the hypocrisy in how we are handling all kinds of conflicts on the planet. So
Yes.
a lot is shifting, and we're going to be covering a lot of that in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
So I want to jump you guys to another story.
Yeah.
This woman, Jamie Accord, was swallowed by quicksand while enjoying a walk with her husband along a popular beach in the coastal city of Portland, Maine earlier this month. So she was walking along the water's edge on Popham Beach State Park when all of a sudden she just dropped like a rock and sank to her hips. Like within seconds, her husband, Patrick, came to her rescue and pulled her from the sand trap. But the couple then watched as the hole in the sand filled back up and just disappeared. Patrick, her husband, said that she was there 1 second and then the next second she was gone. Now, for those of you who don't know, quicksand, also known as supersaturated sand, is the phenomenon when sand gets so saturated with water that it behaves like a liquid. People usually don't sink in quicksand. Usually they remain buoyant and can wiggle themselves free, but not in this case. Climate change is believed to have played a role in this episode because there have been a series of winter storms that rerouted a river that pours into the ocean that softened the sand in the area. Park staff have placed warning signs around the area in hopes of preventing future incidents, but it's just amazing what is going on the planet with water, temperature, etc. Be careful.
I can't even imagine. And this was in Maine, right? But right.
It was in Maine, right?
In Maine.
Yeah.
In Maine, you walking down the beach, and all of a sudden, you just start sinking. And you know what? I can't even fathom that. Okay, because I'm 200, and right now I'm 221 pounds. I'm good, baby. But you know what? It would not be pretty to see me sinking in sand. Okay, what does Dwayne say? I believe we haven't seen nothing yet due to climate change. Exactly.
You speak truth.
Isn't Florida going through a torrential downpour or something like that down in Florida?
Southern Florida received, I think, close to 24 inches in the last 4 or 5 days in rain in certain places. I mean, that is astronomical when you think about water and moisture, but they've got an atmospheric river, going across them. You guys know I grew up in the Philippines. It would rain like that in the tropics. So to think that now we've got that sort of weather pattern here in the US, we're not built for that.
Buckle your boots, baby.
Well, you guys know I love a good beach, and I'll be heading to a beach in a couple of weeks. And I'm telling you, I am not trying to do that.
Well, Bobby, please don't go. And if you do, take a picture, because I know you're good for that. Just take a picture before you go all the way down, and throw your camera, throw your phone somewhere. Okay. And let us know where you are.
What are y'all saying? That I like a selfie? I do. I do like a selfie.
Well, look, real quick, Vosh, talked about the corrupt Supreme Court. And it looked like the corrupt Trump-stacked Supreme Court, kind of made us happy on yesterday because they rejected a challenge to the abortion pill. What is it called? Mifepristone, meaning the commonly used drug can remain widely available now. The court found unanimously that the group of anti-abortion doctors who questioned the Food and Drug Administration's decision making it easier to access the pill did not have legal standing to sue. So as a result, the lawsuit will be dismissed. And I am saying, I wanted to mention this because it is a small win for women's rights. You know what I'm saying?
And an
Because,
unexpected one.
you know, and an unexpected one. So it is just, again, that Trump stacked court is a mess.com. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we did mention that. And again, ladies, Blue said, was it Blue? But they also said bump stops on guns and legal conduct. Yes, we did. I did hear that. I did hear that, which is crazy. Well, you know, on the last thing that I'm going to close out on, y'all, it's on a high note. For those of you who don't know, history was made yet again on June 1st.
In the state of
Maryland, when Bailey Ann Kennedy became the first trans Miss Maryland USA. And she said, I knew it was going to mean a lot for all the LGBTQ kids out there. Bailey Ann Kennedy has become, as I said, the first transgendered woman to hold the title of Miss Maryland USA. And on the first, the Kennedy, who's 31, made history when she was crowned at the end of the pageant in Bethesda, Maryland. Bailey Ann is also the first Asian American and military wife to win this title, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, come on, Bailey Ann.
Can she win Miss Maryland and be married? Isn't there a Mrs. contest?
Boss, you and I are thinking like, I wasn't worried about her being a transgender woman. I was like,
you was like, oh, but she married. She married. But she married now. No, I guess you can't be married. But they do have a Mrs. competition.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well,
they coming after her in twofold.
You know they are. You know you have broke the rule. And last, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we're always trying to figure out a segment that we can bring to the show. You know, we have the art of it tonight. We're doing We See You. We have many segments on the show, and we want to introduce a new segment that we're going to call While You're Out. And we're calling this segment While You're Out because we're going to bring you, when we travel, we're going to bring you places from around the world that we think you should go. And so I'm going to make the first stop in Philadelphia. As you all know, 2 years ago, we had our anniversary show at the Aquava Bed and Breakfast, thanks to the beautiful Monique Greenwood, for allowing us to do our anniversary show live there. And the first time I met Vosh. But Monique has now opened the Aquava Tea Salon and event space and is now ready to offer elegant and trending high tea for all who visit the charming Oasis on the corner of Lancaster Avenue and Barron Street in Philadelphia. Tea lover Monique Greenwood has owned and operated the Aquava Bed and Breakfast inns on the East Coast for nearly 30 years. And last year, she purchased a building down the street from her 5-year-old Philadelphia B&B with the goal of offering 90 minutes of pure indulgence. Monique has said, the salon is a place where folks can take a breath while taking a sip of soothing tea. And in true high tea fashion, guests will also enjoy decadent sweets and savories served on 3-tier trays. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you all, first of all, go to the Aquava Bed and Breakfast in Philadelphia. Look it up, stay there. But you must go to her new salon where she has offering tea and desserts. I know it's great. Vosh has been there.
I was going to say, has anyone on the panel been there?
Yeah, Vosh has been there. Anything you want to add to that, Vosh, while I'm going through that?
Not at all. You did a great job.
Well, ladies, thank you all. That was our chat for tonight. And we got a show for you all that, you know, like I said, this is a show that we really, really think is necessary to have because men makeup and masculinity, it is a topic that we should be talking about, but also men and makeup in that industry is booming. Okay. And when I say booming, it is booming. And we have a special guest here tonight that we're going to talk to. Are you guys ready to bring on our special guest?
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, Ricardo Ron is a North Carolina-based skincare and makeup content creator. He was inspired to create content because of the lack of skincare information being both presented to and by men of color, especially outside of the barbershop environment. His goal is to erase the stigma around taking better care of, or men taking better care of their skin and hair, being knowledgeable about more products and brands, and being unafraid to use key products that are intended for anyone, but primarily marketed to one gender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our show tonight, Mr. Ricardo Ron.
Hey,
Oh, I forgot Ricardo had an intro.
right?
And we see you. Welcome, Ricardo. Welcome.
How you doing, Ricardo?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Wonderful. Welcome to our show tonight. This has been, I've been like, I have been scouting Ricardo down for like 4 months. Okay, he's busy. Okay, so thank you for being here on my birthday. Thank you. Really appreciate having this conversation.
Yes, happy birthday.
With you tonight. Thank you. Well, I'm going to kick off our first question, Ricardo, and this is kind of a way to let our viewers get a little taste of who Ricardo is. So, my first question is because we've done our homework. We've done a little research and have found that you are also secretly a chef, and that you love curating travel and trips with restaurants, bars, and speakeasy tours, and must-see local spots. Share with us a little bit more about that, Ricardo.
So basically, when I travel, I like to find a lot of the mom and pop shops. I like to basically scout speakeasies. I love craft cocktails. I'm not an alcoholic, but I love craft cocktails. So basically, any city that I travel to, I like to find local spots. I like to find speakeasies. The harder the speakeasy to find, the better the experience for me. And then when I take my friends along with me on these trips, I like to not create an itinerary, but basically pinpoint local spots that we should go to. And usually everybody always has a good time. And I'm a foodie, so anywhere that I can find good food, I'm going to eat. So that's one of my main things, especially when I go to a different state or a different country, island or something like that. I'm always ready to try the local flavors. Like what's good in this state and what's popular here, what's known here. That's what I want to eat. So that's basically my experience and my go-to whenever I travel.
Well, for our new segment, you guys, while you're out, we might have to invite Ricardo back.
Okay.
Tell us what's going on. You see what I'm saying? See, you know what? Look.
I might put you onto some spots, so you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I wanted our viewers to get to know a little bit more about you. Thanks a lot, Ricardo. Thank you.
Well, we like to have the full range, the trajectory of our guests when they come on the show. Now, you mentioned that you've always been a foodie, and I want to go back to young Ricardo because I'm an educator, and I know that one thing that young people are often not is foodies. They are very often very picky about their food, and they have a very narrow palate, if you will. Tell us a little bit more about young Ricardo. What were you like, and in terms of some of these interests that you have?
Yeah. So as far as being a foodie, I'm from the South. I am from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I grew up eating pork, chitlins, every part of the pig I've ate. I love it. Pig feet, chitlins, bacon, ham, everything. I'm going to eat it.
Southern boy, North Carolina.
Right. Seafood, all of that. So I was born and raised in Fayetteville, and around the age of 4, my dad was in the military. So around the age of 4, we moved to Panama. And I was there for about 3 years. So I was introduced more so to Panamanian food, but my dad is Puerto Rican. So I've always had a mixture of Puerto Rican food and Southern style food. My mom is African American. So I would get, soul food on one end, and then I'll get Puerto Rican style food on the other end. And I've just always had food, and food is always a part of anything that I do, especially having like family events. Food has always been a part of everything I do. And I like to cook. So a lot of my friends will say that I kind of overcook because if I cook, I'm cooking as if I'm cooking for a banquet and it's 2 people eating.
Oh, Lord.
So,
well, there are 3 of us on this panel. We cook on and forward it.
And we love to eat. Okay. Are you the only sibling? Or do you have siblings?
My mom's only child, but I do have an older sister on my dad's side.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So tell us about you told us about young Ricardo, a little bit now about what led you into content creation, and in particular around beauty.
So basically it started back when I was younger. my mother pretty much instilled grooming in me at a young age. Always have your clothes ironed and neat. Always wash your face. And I think in elementary school, I was probably one of the only kids that had a cologne collection.
Not in elementary school.
I've always been into like fragrances, and I just know that's one thing that I've always held true to myself and my personality is outward image and always looking the part no matter where you are and what you're doing. So as far as content creation and kind of mending that path, content creation was a little scary to me because I don't know if y'all know, but I am terrified of speaking publicly. I did not like the way my voice sounds on camera. However, I always admired content creators because I was like, I would see the videos. I want to do that too, but I want to talk. Do I have to talk? So, yeah. As far as when I got started, it was really because I was seeing a lot of makeup routines, makeup tutorials, and I was seeing a lot of men do it, but I wasn't seeing a lot of men that looked like me, especially about skincare. So when I finally picked up the motivation and received motivation from friends and loved ones, I was saying that I was going to create a path where I would introduce men into skincare through content, but I was just, doing it for fun. I wasn't really taking it serious. I started on YouTube and I did like a couple of videos on social media, but I've always been asked, what do you use on your skin? Your skin is nice. What are you using on your skin? Every time somebody see me in school, college, they will always ask me what my skincare routine is. So why not just get on camera and do what I normally do every day to get ready? Mm-hmm. And that actually took off with me whenever I was brought into the Urban Skin RX blow up program, which is basically a content creator collective. And they send you the products, but it's mainly to boost you into the content creation world. So that kind of got my feet wet into creating content, but I wanted to focus my message more so on pushing skincare for men. It has to be about skincare. It needs to strictly introduce products, ingredients, skincare routines, and the importance to why men should be taking care of their skin just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. But then I noticed there was another lack in the industry, and that was in beauty, specifically makeup. And mainly because, like I said, there were a lot of men doing it, but there were not a lot of men that looked like me. Mm. So I just dove headfirst into it. I've always had, an interest in makeup. In college, I took a theater arts class and I took a theater makeup class. And pretty much every week we had a challenge and a different story that we had to create a makeup look for. And my professor at the time, he had like a wall of everything that he loved for that week. I was on that wall every week because I would kill those makeup looks. Halloween is low-key one of my favorite holidays because I will go all out with a makeup look for Halloween, whether it's scary, fantasy, anything. I just love that type of stuff. So I always knew about makeup, and the way I do makeup now is because is basically I would watch women do their makeup tutorials. And literally I would take the steps they did, the products they use, and I would apply it to my face. And what makes me different as far as a content creator and pushing makeup for men is I'm not doing full glam looks. I'm not doing eyeshadow. I'm not doing real extravagant looks. I'm literally just doing men's grooming, using makeup products, enhancing your natural features, enhancing what's already there, and covering any insecurities that you may have on your face at the time to make you look more presentable. If you have an appearance, if you have a public speaking engagement, if you're in a movie, if you're on television, that's the type of content I'm creating. So it kind of just, to circle back, it's always kind of been in me.
Wow. I just want to ask very quickly, since you mentioned elementary school kid with colognes, what was your mm-hmm. favorite cologne in elementary school?
Back then, it was probably, I'm telling my age, it's probably Jupe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Curve, and Mambo. I think Mambo, that's what it was called.
I love Mambo. I have on Mambo now. My Liz Claiborne. Love Mambo.
As long as you didn't say polo. Okay, as long as you didn't say, because you would have really, I was like, Ricardo, how old are you? Okay, yeah, if you had said polo, I was going to ask that question straight up.
Love Mambo.
I was.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
Well, Ricardo, how can a man get started taking better care of their skin without feeling awkward about it?
Well, you shouldn't be awkward. It shouldn't feel awkward to take care of your skin because it's basic hygiene. You know, you get in the shower every day, you wash your body. It's the same thing for your face. You're basically just washing and making sure you're clearing bacteria and dirt out of your face.
Mhm.
And honestly, it just creates that routine for you. So it's not as hard as it is. A lot of content creators are online creating, you know, content and skincare routines with 10 products, and that's intimidating to some people. So when a man comes to me and asks me, hey, how do I get started taking better care of my skin? I always suggest 4 product types. I tell them to first start with a cleanser. You need a facial cleanser. You do not need to use body wash on your face. Stop
Mhm.
using bar soap on your face. 3-in-1 body wash is not it. That's disgusting. Do not, you know, it just get a facial wash. And then I always tell them to either start with a simple serum like hyaluronic acid or vitamin C, something that's very simple, something that will rehydrate your skin and just, you know, makes your skin look better. And then I tell them to get 2 different moisturizers. Now, the first one I tell them always get a night cream, something that's hydrating, not cocoa butter, not shea butter, because popular to you know, the popular belief is that, you know, that's what is made for our skin, that's what works for our skin, but it actually clogs your pores a lot, and people don't know that. So I would tell them to get, you know, a night cream that's hydrating, something that has ceramides, peptides, which they'll just automatically be like, I don't know what that is. Get something that's hydrating. But the main product that I always suggest is SPF, and I always get so much pushback from that, especially from Black, because they're going to tell me I'm Black, I don't need SPF. And I always tell them that you may not see sun damage. When you look in the mirror, you may not see it. What I was put onto at my first dermatologist visit, they use a certain camera that has like an amber light, or they use a blue light sometimes. And when they take your picture, y'all, the stuff
Really?
they can see on your face through that camera lens, you would literally just be like, okay, so what do I need to do? Because this looks crazy. And I always try to stress that we have melanin in our skin. Melanin protects us from sun and UV and UVB rays to a certain extent. It
Mhm.
doesn't really help because sometimes our melanin can be overproduced, and that's when you get hyperpigmentation, you get black spots, you break out with acne, you're going to have blemishes. The sun will make that worse. So I just always tell people it's really important to get SPF. Um, my favorite is chemical SPFs versus mineral SPFs because of our rich color in our skin, we always have an issue with white cast. And a lot of brands in the industry right now are trying to push, you know, products that don't leave white cast, and they'll tell you it doesn't leave a white cast, and you'll walk out the house looking like a ghost. So I just always suggest, you know, facial cleanser, 1 serum, an SPF for daytime, moisturizer at nighttime. Once you get into the routine and you start, you know, feeling better about it, you're more comfortable about it, you can get up and just do it without even thinking about it. Then we'll start talking about masks, exfoliators, eye creams, different double cleansing, double moisturizing. That's when you can get into, you know, the more intricate parts of skincare, but just keep it simple when you're first starting out.
I love the y'all.
Yeah. So, Ricardo, you heard me say that I'm celebrating a huge birthday
Mhm.
this weekend, and I came from an era where I remember when it was. I mean, when men first put an earring in their ear, it was an uproar. I mean, it was like, you know, and it was like every time you would see a guy with an earring in his ear until a celebrity like Michael Jordan or somebody like that did it, it was an issue. So I'm going to move to the makeup. I want to start having this conversation about masculinity. Why do you think society have a problem with male wearing? And when I say full face, I don't mean looking like RuPaul. I'm just saying, first of all, your skin looks amazing today. And
Thank you.
so I'm going to say that's full face. I mean, it's not the again, the RuPaul or, it's not the dramatic makeup that you're talking about. We're just talking about makeup in general. Why do you think society has a problem with that?
Honestly, I just think it's the societal norms, it's the gender norms, it's social media having an issue with everything emasculating men. And no matter what a man does, it can be emasculating to them. We can't eat hot dogs. We can't eat bananas. We can't wear tight clothes. Every little thing lessens a man's masculinity. So of course, wearing makeup that's the icing on the cake. Absolutely not. Like, so the makeup routines that I do is called no makeup makeup. I have on a full face of makeup right now, but it looks like skin. It's just enhanced. It's just, I'm putting on minimal product. I'm just enhancing what's already there and clearing, even in my skin tone, stuff like that. And that's the type of content that I do. And even doing this content, I get so much pushback just because you're putting on makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't wear makeup. And I always get people in my comments when I say this. I always tell them, you're saying men don't wear makeup. You're the peak masculine man. You watch sports, you play sports, you're watching ESPN 24/7. All of those sportscasters on there have on makeup. You watch the news in the morning, these men have on makeup. You watch movies, whether it's a action movie, a romance, a comedy, all these men have on makeup. When your male idols are on the red carpet, where they're making an appearance, they're speaking at anywhere, they have on makeup. You just didn't know that. I feel like now that it's being more so exposed, where people start pushing their homophobia on it versus looking at it objectively, like, okay, this is just part of a grooming routine. This is what celebrities do, so why can't I do it? But it's so much pushback and there's so much controversy on men doing makeup or wearing makeup because it's effeminizing them. And I also think that's because we're so used to seeing men putting on makeup to the extreme of drag, full glam, lashes, all that. And that even encompasses, acrylic nails, maybe, gender bending with the clothes. It all just comes together with that. And I really honestly think it boils down to, homophobia.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
homophobia. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
I
also, I'm sorry, Bobby. While you were talking, I've been in the fashion industry for over 40 years. And I just remember when I started doing fashion shows and everyone thought that male models were gay. All of them that came back there, who did fashion shows, that all of them were gay. And it was so interesting to me. And it was almost like a light switch when some of the straight, the straight male models saw the gay male models putting on makeup. And it was almost like, I got to do it too. And I was a part of that moment when you were talking. It took me back like years when I saw that happen. But even the straight male models were fearful that when they got on the runway, because they had on makeup, that they would be, people would say that they were gay or, make comments about them being gay because they had on makeup. And I think that is now blown out the window. That is because they know you are not getting on that on that runway and your skin looking, botched. That's
exactly.
Yeah, that's not
botched. No,
Botched.
not having that now. So you guys kind of tapped into my next question, which I was going to ask you about whether or not you really believe that part of the pushback is due to people's assumptions about gender or sexuality, and men who wear makeup being gay. But I guess my question was also going to be to you, like, what is the big difference between? I mean, we have men out here now who are getting man weaves, if you will. They see that as completely acceptable. They can walk around with literally a wig. And I guess there's this thing of using Beijing, like on your beard, or, but they're doing all these different things, and that's acceptable. And just trying to figure out what you think is the difference between literally wearing a wig, doing the thing to the beard, and then wearing makeup.
To me, there is no difference. Whenever you go to the barbershop and you're cleaning up your hairline with hair fibers or, dyeing it to the extreme of using vegan, because it's actually pronounced
Oh,
vegan.
thank you. As you can see, I don't use it, so I
Yeah,
just so.
right. And see, the crazy thing is, I just found out that's how you pronounce it through a partnership I had with them.
And it's
I've
called.
always
Say it
called
again
it
for me.
Beijing too.
Say it
Vegan,
again. Vegan.
vegan. Yeah,
Called vegan. Okay.
Again, of which I do not use. Clearly, all this time, not
yeah,
happening.
yeah. So all that is technically cosmetic enhancement. You're basically putting on makeup. You know, it goes back to like the RuPaul quote, "You're born naked, everything else is drag." And to me, it just blows my mind the amount of barbers that would be in my comments with a lot of pushback, because you literally are creating hairlines for men using cosmetic products.
Mhm.
You are doing all this in a barbershop, but because it's done in a barbershop, it's fine. But if you do it outside the barbershop, then it's, oh no, that's gay.
Mhm.
And a lot of the pushback I get in my comments is just about, oh, this is gay, or you're gay, or this and that. And I'm just like, okay, at the end of the day, what does this have to do with the makeup? Did you learn something or not? And a lot of times I just think that people are just not aware of it. It's ignorance, it's the lack of knowledge, it's a denial factor in that, because I know I've made a video one time addressing the history of the gender bending situations with men. I made it a point to say, in the 90s, women wore baggier clothes. That was seen masculine, but it wasn't. It was a sex appeal thing. I said in the 80s, men wore crop tops and short shorts, and they were deemed to be sex symbols. Nowadays, oh, that's too much. That's feminine. The 70s, bell bottoms, platform shoes, stuff that, a man wouldn't technically wear today, that was normal for them. But one thing about it, makeup has always been normal for men. Makeup was created for men and by men. And it just kind of trickled down throughout history and switched over to where it has become a thing where it's only for women. And that's the thing about it is, if you look at makeup marketing campaigns, if you look at the directions on the box, if you look at, any type of window or anything like that, where does it say this foundation is for women? Where does it say this is women's concealer? Where does this blush say only for a woman's face? It's never been just a woman's thing. And I just think that the best thing about what we have social media today and the brands that are now tapping more into pulling men into their campaigns is just opening people's eyes to it. It's going to take some time to adjust. From what I see, it's taking a lot more time for people to just adjust to it, because now they're starting to see it a lot more. Mm-hmm. But like I said, that it's always going to go back to, that's just a gay thing. Only gay men do that. Mm-hmm. And that's fine, because they do it, and they do it to the fullest extent, and they're going to kill it every single time. Like, that can't be helped. We can't help that. Yeah. So
don't hate us because we're perfect on these things now.
Right.
And our viewer Dwayne is a vegan. It's vegan, right? He's a vegan fan. He put in the comments that he likes vegan. So we see you, Dwayne. Keeping it black.
He said, "Keep it black and tight." Oh, and right. And right. And black and right. I got you.
Right.
I see you, Dwayne.
Okay.
We see you. We see you. Yes.
Well, I mean, if anyone is paying really any attention, they see that folks like Steve Harvey and all other Black male celebrities are wearing makeup. Will Smith. I mean, when you look at them, there is no way that their skin is as perfect. And, Steve Harvey was known for having like the tightest hairline, and that was all makeup. So, Ricardo, why are men an important component to the beauty skincare content creation market?
Honestly, it just extends beyond diversity to me. It extends beyond inclusion to me, because like I said, makeup is not just for one type of person. And when you think about it, like we've been saying throughout the whole show, male celebrities, models, people of importance that you see on your screens or outside of your screens have been doing this for years. And people that are doing it at home are scared to walk out their house and, show this, because they don't see it. anywhere else. And now that pretty much everything is on social media, our news is on social media, our gossip, everything we get is on our phone. So I believe that for the beauty industry to actually, push further and be more inclusive, they have to pull men into their marketing and their campaigns and their displays and any type of exposure they can do. But my only issue is that they're still trying to pull in one certain type of man. And that's what the issue I have. And that's why I tell people, I have a certain way I present myself. I present like this. I'll go and get my nails done. I'll wear a dangly earring. I have my nose pierced. And you still don't see a lot of faces that look like mine being pushed to the forefront. And so I just think it's important that if we're going to start including men in beauty campaigns, if we're going to start pulling them into, content creation and getting them to put the content out, we need to start diversifying the type of men that we're using. And that includes from the most feminine man all the way down to the most masculine man, because regardless of if I'm a feminine man or if I'm a masculine man, you're all doing makeup and you're all doing makeup in your different way. So I just feel like we need to see more faces and more diverse faces, because you'll see diverse faces with women. You'll see every type of woman in a makeup campaign, but you see one type of man. And I just feel like it's a lapse over that. And it's kind of missed a lot. The market's always missed when it comes to including men, because they'll include a certain race of men. They'll include a certain type of man, a certain personality of man. But I just really feel like it's just important to, especially for content creators, to actually push the content out there. If this is something you're interested in, push the content out. Just create a video and post it, because the brands are not going to see it. They're not going to know, okay, we need to pull these type of people in if you're being scared and you're not, just going ahead and just doing it and not worrying about what people say.
So, Ricardo, because you are a content creator and you're doing pretty good as a content creator, were there any challenges that you face as a man that made it difficult for people to be drawn to your type of content and as you present it on social media? Did you have challenges before you got to where you are now?
Actually, I didn't necessarily have challenges from the brand side, because I do believe they were introduced to my content. They had never seen something like that before. Even though there's more men that are like me, that look like me, that are doing the same type of content. Like I said, it's not that many of us, and we're so spread out over the country and over the world that no brand really sees it. So I never really came into issue as far as, the brand side with content creating and doing this type of content. It's just the audience. And like I said, this type of makeup, men in makeup period, it's constantly throwing people off, and I never will understand why. And one of the funny comments that I got was, yeah, you're doing makeup, all that's good, you're talented, that's fine, but you're not a celebrity. So technically, what does this have to do with you and your masculinity? You're like, they just kind of, try to reduce me doing the content because I'm not a celebrity. And I'm actually helping celebrities. I get messages, I get comments all the time from male celebrities who are like, you know what, you just taught me something that I didn't know that I can be doing on my own to make my makeup look more natural and look like skin versus looking like I just have a whole bunch of powder on my face or the shade doesn't match. And I've actually got a lot of messages from makeup artists who are just like, you're showing me something new. I'm finally learning how to do my male client. Because a lot of times they're so used to doing women's faces, and a lot of times women have a certain aesthetic and a certain look they like to have. They don't know how to transfer that onto a man's face. So I just like to think of it more so as I'm teaching, I'm motivating, I'm inspiring. And if I do get backlash, I'm using that for the motivation for the next video. Right. But as far as, coming into issues outside of, random trolls and negative comments, I really haven't came into any hard stops.
Well, I happen to have heard you address that person. who came at you. It was a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure I like that moment. You handled that very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please follow Ricardo on IG or TikTok, because you will be astounded at his work as a content creator. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries,
yeah.
no worries.
Mhm.
So, Ricardo, you did mention the lack of diversity in terms of the imagery of models that are often involved in male skincare promotion, content promotion, and so forth. Are there other changes that you would like to see in the skincare and beauty industry?
As far as brands, I would like to see, I would like to see brands actually pay content creators what they're worth. And that is specifically to content creators of color and especially Black content creators. I think it's important to pay and, compensate content creators that are literally doing 16 jobs at once. We are editing the video, we're filming the video, we're doing the script, we're doing the lighting, we're doing the post edits and the pre edits. We're basically, we're testing out new products on our face every single day. We're risking damaging our skin by testing products to see, if the audience is going to like it. We're building communities online. We're, building trust within those communities to, go out and purchase from your brand. So I just believe that it's time that we get compensated fairly for the content that we're producing. And that's with any niche. That's even outside of the beauty industry. Black content creators are very, very underpaid compared to every other race that is out here creating content successfully. So that's just mainly the change. If you see the brand is reaching out to us and they see the work that we're doing, they're reaching out because they like what we do. They are reaching out because they see the potential in us. So compensate us for the potential that you see and stop undercutting the price, thinking, it's not going to reach your target audience. You reached out for a reason. You reached out to reach my audience. So, pay me what I'm worth.
Amen.
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 So what can we expect from you in the world of skincare and beauty in the future?
Well, in the future, I hopefully will have my own skincare and cosmetic line.
Right on.
I'm working on that. Right now, I'm diving into the fragrance world. So you'll definitely see a lot more fragrance reviews. I've amassed about 300 bottles so far in my collection, and I just need to just go ahead and start talking about it. So,
Absolutely. If you
yeah,
have that many bottles,
come on now.
It's about 300. Last time I counted, they have like 2 walls full.
Wow.
So
I'm not mad at you at all. I'm a fragrance guy, so I'm not mad at you at all. Ricardo Ron, thank you for joining us tonight, my brother. Thank you. Hopefully, as your first live interview, that you were happy because you made it through and you dropped the mic all night long, man. So thank you for joining us tonight, man.
No
Really do
problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. Honestly, this was like the best experience, and I was so glad and excited to be here.
oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Mambo.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as before we end the show tonight, we're going to keep Ricardo here. Next Friday, June the 21st, we will run a previously aired episode. We will not come to you live next week, but on Friday, June the 28th, in honor of African American Music Appreciation Month, we will have recording artist, producer, writer, and award-winning film producer Mark Angel will be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been here before, but he has done what he said he was going to do when he left us when he was here the last time. So we will have him back and talk with Mark Angel on the 28th of June. And for our words of the week, ladies and gentlemen, gay pride was not born of a need to celebrate being gay, but our right to exist without persecution. So instead of wondering why there isn't a straight pride movement, be thankful you don't need one. All right?
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining our show tonight. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Missy, for that birthday shout out. Thank you. And don't judge me if you all see me running around Washington, D.C. looking crazy this weekend because it's my weekend. All right.
Amen. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of He Said.
He said.
He said.
Have a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again, Ricardo. Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.